Hello everybody, here we are back. This is the second turn of La Lorraine, the training scenario for 1914 Offensive à Outrance by GMT Games. We are now in the phase of the German players. I've made myself a little, player turn marker. So this is the German player and this is the French/Allied player. So the French have brought in two reinforcements. Well, they have activated these two forces, but they've basically stayed here. And another force, Toul 73R, has also been activated and has moved into the garrison of into the fortress of Toul, because obviously the German player wants to take this. The Germans have also activated their 7th Army, and there has been quite a lot of movement. The French here have crossed the mountains. Those dark brown areas cannot be crossed, so they block movement. So these hex sides are uncrossable. That's the way I read the terrain key. Anyway, so basically the French have moved in here, and the Germans have, in their counter movement phase, moved towards the French. And in the actual movement phase of the German player, because the French didn't engage in battle, because the problem is that the Germans are actually quite strong, the Germans have now placed prepared attack markers, and this is quite a neat function. What you do is you decide, and you have to expend movement points for this, that you are going to attack a certain hex. This hex can be empty, or it can contain enemy forces. If it does contain enemy forces, you hinder those enemy forces from leaving this hex in their counter movement phase. So each force has the possibility of blocking one force of the same size. So here we have I'm just going to zoom in here a little bit. Here you have an infantry division, and there is one infantry division in this hex here, and it's preparing to attack this hex. So in the counter movement phase, this infantry division could normally retreat if they wanted to avoid battle by, let's say, moving into this hex here, down here, bar 61, 62, which would be a movement allowance of 3+1 for leaving an enemy zone of control. So that would be well within the 5 movement point allowance for the counter movement, but they are now blocked. And they're also blocked twice, because there is a force up here which is also preparing to attack this hex. So these guys need to stay. They cannot now try and get out of this situation. Same up here. We have one to prepare, which is preparing attack. Actually, that's a mistake, because they cannot attack across this mountain ridge hex side. That is not possible. Is it? Yeah. Okay, we can actually remove this because this is illegal. See, you live and learn as you go along. Okay, up here we have the same situation. I'm just gonna zoom out to give you an overview over here. This is now the 6th German army, which is going to attack this particular hex with 3 forces from 2 different hexes. And up here I have done the following. I have pointed my prepared marker at an empty hex. The reason is that if somebody from the French side were to choose to move in here and end their movement here, they would be attacked automatically. So on the next on my attack phase. So basically, if somebody were to decide, oh, I'm going to move in here, to make use of the fact that the Germans have opened their flank, they will have to face battle, and that's actually one way of well, I suppose safeguarding gaps to some degree. It's not, of course, a perfect safeguard. The perfect safeguard would be if there were no gaps whatsoever, but this is one way of at least mitigating against those effects. So the next phase will now be the German combat phase, and we'll see how we fare here. This is the first time I'm using the prepared attack markers, and we'll see how that works out. And I'll post this and I'll tell you how it went.